out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold.
There we are. Nothing like the having to reboot the system 10 minutes, or about 10 minutes for the show. But we're here. Kion Brown joins us coming up. We'll talk some college hoops with KB. Good morning, Stephen. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. The activity in the chat room has been exploding. Good for you, Mark Hundley. And as always, throughout the day on the Professional Door text line, man. It's good. So Kion joins us. We've got Damien Sordelett. We've got Tech coaching salaries released on the new football staff. David Teel and Dight Vick. Dight going today because he has things going on tomorrow. Man, now see, that's a banger. All right? Let me check that out, Paul. Paul had looks like Paul had a incident with bad driving guy. So we got a lot going on today. Great show. There's a lot of great people on this show today. I hope you appreciate it. Hit us up, sponsors. You're not getting that kind of entertainment. We're averaging over 700 views a day here on the program. We can help your business. Subscribe, spread the word in the channel. We would love to hear from you. From Rick Watson's Family Fencing Perch. That's right. Thank you, Jason. On Route 8, the Palm Coast 1999 birthday. You won't find no dilly-dally around here because Big Dog's guests are really great. They are. We are live and online. I mean, you got 4 outstanding mouthpieces here joining in on the program today. Hang on, let me see what you got here, Paul. What did you have to deal with? All right. heading to the gym early morning, hitting lights, no problem. Then light turns red due to phantom car. No car around, and like, oh, there's nothing worse, man. So you didn't really have bad driving guy. You had bad driving stoplights. I'm with you. The worst one of all, at least what has been my experience, is that one as you're headed, if you're headed down Tyler toward Radford, right before you get to the intersection of Rock Road, you know, you go through that stoplight, you got grocery store on the right, and that light will wait for you to get to a certain point, and then all of a sudden it'll just turn red and there'll be nobody around. And a lot of times I'm driving back very late from Radford road games, and it'll be 2 or 3 in the morning and there's nobody on the road. So the light should just stay green, right? And I don't know how many of them still have the timing plates and you can run over in the pressure, but there is nothing worse. Nothing worse. Thank you, Morris. The opening jingle and song is Straight Fire. Straight Fire. Yeah, but I get you on that. I get you on that, Paul. It's oof. All right. So overnight, by the way, I think we're starting to see the cracks in this system that we were talking about yesterday. By the way, it was a great conversation with everybody. We had some good input from everybody in chat and on our McClellan chat and on our professional door text line. Let me take care of business first before we get into this. Morris has already mentioned them. Thanks to Jason Green, everybody at Family Fencing Studios. You can get a free quote, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. Wayne already regrets that he didn't reach out and call Family Fencing. Wayne, your fence would not have blown down if you'd have used Family Fencing. Just saying. Learning thing, tough. It's tough to learn. We just mentioned Mark Hundley and McClellan Chiropractic. Thanks to him. I'm going to go see him tomorrow. I'm going to see him and Travis Williams because they have to deliver T-shirts. Travis, of course, Professional Door Incorporated. 540-391-0788, 38 years in business, garage doors better than everybody, sponsor of our text line. We are presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Thanks to them. And they have more announcements coming up here very soon. So we're going to get, I think Jonathan's coming back on with us. Little River Heating and Air, thanks to Charles Lee, 1095 Radford Street, 540-553-2971. They will always work with you on costs. They are the best at what they do. Utilize them, and you won't regret it. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply in Christiansburg. Give James a call at 540-381-8011, 300 North Franklin Street. The NRV Super Bowl right here in Christiansburg. 25 years. Thanks to Terry and Amanda. They have added lots of new things. You go in there now, you won't recognize it in the best ways possible. I love the bowling alley atmosphere. I wish I were better at it. Maybe that's one of my goals for 2026 is to actually become capable of bowling. But they put a lot into it, and you need to go. And I think that's, if we ever do anything for a show meetup, I'm going to see if we can get the Super Bowl involved. The attorney Ryan Pry, 701 West Main Street in Radford. I asked an easy question because we've had over 30 responses, and I think 27 of them were Indiana and Miami in the title game. That was our BDST fan question of the week. He specializes in trust and estate planning. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST here on YouTube. I've been with them for 35 years. They are the best. And the Ready Set Fund with Bob Christ, ReadySetFund.com, BobChrist11@gmail. And all it is it's kind of like a text. It shows you how to send out text messages to raise money for your organization. Just go ask Floyd County High School softball. $4,000 in 5 days. They surpassed their goal by 2,000. So if you have a church group, you have a school group, a team, little league, I mean, whatever it is, hit up the Ready Set Fund. Sold a couple T-shirts yesterday. If you want one, they're $20. That's all they are. I'll get them to you locally. 30 if I have to ship them. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, 4377 Lee Highway. All right, great stuff. Morris could be a ring announcer. He could. All right, so Damon Williams is our subject here early. He signed what University of Washington, UW, the Huskies, described as a legally binding revenue sharing contract. And yes, I am reading from the story because I couldn't remember it this early in the morning. So he signed as a legally binding revenue sharing contract with the school. The university is now going to pursue legal avenues. And they've already been in contact with the Big Ten officials because Williams is saying that he is going to leave Washington less than 4 days after he signed this new deal. And the scuttlebutt is, here's where it gets juicier. The scuttlebutt is that Lane Kiffin and LSU offered him nearly $7 million. I don't know if those numbers are substantiated or not, but he's now leaving Washington. I don't know what they signed him for, maybe $3 million. And so now apparently since LSU thought that, or at least Lane Kiffin thought that the quarterback at Mississippi was going to follow him, and he said no, they're panicking a little bit. And in that panic, they're doing this. And these are the kind of things that you're going to see, I think, happen more and more and more. So we're going to have a major suit here, and it's going to be very interesting to follow. This could happen to Tech. It could happen to UVA. It could happen to anybody. So let's keep an eye on this one. Fortunately, it doesn't affect anybody around here, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this one plays out. It really is. So we'll keep an eye on that because this has the potential to be the first shoe to fall. All right. First shoe to fall on the show is Balboa Creed is back from his overnight venture. So hang on a second. So I leave this door open. Well, not the door open, but I leave the shade open on this door so I can see him specifically. So you have this situation in Washington, children, and then you have what I think, Coach Elmation and Coach Grantham has pointed out here over the last couple of months. At some point, we're going to have a mid-season departure from one school to the other. So keep an eye on the suit. This is going to be interesting to see how this thing goes. Because let's say that the kid wins the suit. If Damon Williams wins the lawsuit, that's going to open it up for everybody else to do stuff like this. So his deal, yes, was $4 million. And LSU is apparently offering $6 to $7 million. So it's dirty stuff, man. So y'all tell me what you think about all that. I want to get your take on it. Put yourself in if it's a Virginia Tech situation. How would you feel about it? Say you got your quarterback. And by the way, more people are sending me their concerns about Ethan Grunkemeyer, who apparently a couple days ago put up a new picture on his ex. This is how people are so obsessed over this. This is why it doesn't matter how bad things are. They're always going to keep doing it because people are just – but he has not put anything up regarding Virginia Tech, and he actually put up a picture of him holding up the bowl trophy when they beat Clemson. So I don't know. People are asking me what it means. I don't know. I had never checked out his X account. I did respond. And by the way, folks, you don't bother me when you're putting your When you hit me up on the text line, professional door text line, it's fine. If I don't get to you immediately, it's just because I'm at Radford and busy. But don't worry about it. I don't mind hearing from anybody. So I don't know if it means anything or not. I don't know. People are, the only thing I will say is this. If his deal was done at Tech, I would think by now we would see a change in the header and we would see something with him in Virginia Tech colors. With photoshopping, they're doing it all over the country. As soon as these deals are signed, you go to those kids' account, and there they are in their new uniform. So I will say, and that's what I answered people, I don't know. Maybe they haven't finalized it. I haven't heard about him going anywhere else. Maybe somebody snuck in with an offer. This could be similar to the Washington situation. I don't know the answer. But it was announced at the beginning of the week. Actually, I think on Sunday we saw people who cover this stuff saying it was a done deal. I looked into a couple of them, so I reposted it on the Facebook page. We came on Monday and said, hey, this is the guy. Well, ask Damien. He'll know. Damien Sordelett will know. So I don't really have an answer for you because there's no information coming out. It's not like we're getting any info about it. Everything that's being reported is coming from other sources. So I guess you'll know, they got involved with the North Carolina quarterback. He is considered, I guess, the backup. And Tebow, you're exactly right. Kid going to be making $7 million at LSU next year if he wins this case, because he's going to have to go to court. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Making more than rookie quarterbacks in the NFL their first year. The thing is, this is why it's not sustainable, man. It's just sustaining it. Tebow says it's a done deal. Okay, well, I hope you're right, Tebow. For Tech fans' sake, I hope you're right. I don't know whether he ends up being the right guy or not, but everybody's counting on him, so I hope it works out. But it goes back to the reporting that we've seen, too. I've said this a lot. People try to report things, and they say, they hear something and they report it as fact, kind of like we just found out with J.C. Price, right? People were saying it was a done deal. He was on staff. Well, he's not. It's not even close to being on staff. But yet, Sunday, everybody was reporting it's done. He has transferred. Maybe he has. Maybe that's what's going on, and he wants to make sure the deal is signed. But, once again, you got to watch what you read and watch what is posted. Make sure things are accurate. I try to do that the best I can because I don't care about having first info if it's not accurate. Tech fans have suffered a lot over the last 7 years. They don't need inaccurate reporting. So those of you that have asked, I guess. Yesterday was the first time I even looked at his X account. I don't think he's one of those kids either, just getting his personality. It doesn't feel like he's the kind of kid that looks for a lot of publicity. So it would make sense if the deal is definitely done. Maybe he's that kind of kid. Everything has to be proper. He's not looking for extra attention. A lot of these guys are. A lot of these guys are just all about marketing. And I don't think he's that type of kid. Doesn't come across that way. Like, he really loves Penn State. He appreciates that, but he knows now he won't have a chance to play. And so he's going to follow the coach that brought him there. This coach jump may be the kind of thing that spurs the beginning of a return to normalcy. It's going to get worse, TLB, yes, before it gets better. And this might be the first step, things like this right here with this kid leaving Washington, middle of the night too. And and I don't know, I didn't see his presser. People were saying that they had a big deal about it too. Like, he was one of the guys that signed his contract and all that. Creed is fired up this morning. He'll be going back out soon. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because the Big Ten is going to get involved. And let's say Tech had some huge quarterback, right? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. If you lose him and this kind of thing happens, you would want Tech to act the same way Washington is acting, right? Hey, wait a minute. You signed this thing, man, because these deals are with the school. And you get the school involved, and they're going to be a little concerned. So even though they're not really binding contracts, the rev sharing deals are with the school. Morris, he's not on the coaching staff in any way, shape, or form. It was reported by some of these sites, I think 247 was one, that he was going to move up into an analyst role. But we heard yesterday from, a couple sources that that's not the case. We'll ask Damien. He may be trying to. Maybe it's going to happen. But again, it wasn't reported that way. It was reported like he's already taken the position, just like it was reported that Ruckmeyer was already signed, which clearly is not the case. So you got to watch. Like I said, you got to be careful. People want to jump the gun, man. All these sites are online are trying to be the first in the James Franklin era to report all this news. And they're just hearing things and they're reporting it as fact. Well, you need to say, this is what I'm hearing. When I predicted James Franklin to Virginia Tech on October the 11th, it's because I was told. I shared information that I knew was credible from Big Ten guy. And I prefaced it by saying, this is what I've been hearing. This is what I've been told. Even put it on the Facebook page that way. I didn't say this is a done deal. I didn't say that he is working on a contract. I said, it looks like James Franklin is the front runner to be the head coach. And everybody, oh my God, I keep it, my receipts. People were firing at me, telling me I was ridiculous, telling me I was an idiot. There's no way Virginia Tech's going to get James Franklin. You're just pulling this out of your ass to get clicks. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. And, well, gee, who's the head coach at Virginia Tech? You're welcome, America. So it's fine to say you're hearing something and preface it that way. David Teel would never do anything like this. He would say, well, there are people talking, but you wouldn't report it that way. It's just a new generation, like we're seeing with Access Media, especially about politics. It's all crap. But hey, they've got to get an agenda across. So they'll report things as fact when none of it's remotely true, just to play up to their customers. Well, I think these team sites are doing the same thing. And it's not just the ones with Tech. It's ones all over the place. I'm just saying that, say you're hearing something. I've tried to bring you information that way here. I hope I have. I hope I haven't. There's been a lot that I've been told I don't share because I don't know if it's legitimate enough to do it. And I don't want to be a rumor monger. Rumor monger. Is that right? But when I had information about the coaching search, when I've heard things from people that I know, that's when I shared it, which is what I did about Franklin. Turned out to be correct, and I'm glad that it did. And then there were some things that kind of made that look like, well, is that really going to happen? Which I tried to share with you. He put them off for 3 weeks because he was trying to get involved in other jobs. That's fact. That's not hyperbole. That's not, it doesn't matter. Tech got the guy that they wanted. It doesn't matter where he ranked the Virginia Tech job on his wish list. This is where he ended up. But there were 3 weeks there where he was trying to get involved with other jobs. None of that occurred. So, boom, you got your guy. So I don't know. So that's good news. I will trust the people in this chat on this show more than I will those sites. So if you guys are saying it's good, then I'll pass that along next time I get a text. Those of you that are watching on the text line, go back and watch the show. The peeps here in chat are saying that Grunk is good. And I don't know. I haven't heard anything because you're not going to hear anything like that. So just keep an eye on his X account, and you'll start to see it when it's officially signed. So there you go. Morris says, welcome to the Black Sheep crowd, Rick. These names you mentioned that people call you lame. Want to hear some names that people have called me? Hey, look, it's part of it. I didn't care about the comments about James Franklin. I mean, I kept them. You can read them. You can find the post if you go on the Facebook page and hear what people were saying, that I was making it all up. It's fine. It's part of it. Just like now that the show got expanded by YouTube and we have 2 streams and you don't see them as much now. I put in a request. I think the bot filter is working. We were getting a lot of bots on the show. Sometimes people would put up just crazy things, crazy things. So yeah. Trying to filter those kind of things out, by the way. Just trying to do that as we go on here in January. Entering month 5. Later on this month, we'll have Marty and Rags back. Hit us up, by the way, and tell people to subscribe. We have, I got my year-end metrics, and people are going nuts at YouTube. They love it. The views, the rewatches that we get are crazy. Like yesterday when I ended the show, I checked on it. I always check on it when I get to Radford, and I guess between the 2 streams, and there's 2 streams now, so they only log 1 IP, so you combine the number. We were at, I don't know, 200 and some views, 300 views, and at the end of the day, you're at like 800. No, you're not, Hokey Rocks. You are not a bot. You are not a bot. Yeah, Wayne, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that with Damien here coming up. Tech left $4 million of its coach's salary off the table. In other words, they saved $4 million. And we'll talk about that. Paul says, you mean the Rick OnlyFans isn't real? Correct. No one would want that whatsoever. Now, if that guy, Kion Brown said, hey, I'm starting OnlyFans, then watch out. He's going to make a lot of dough. What's up, brother? Good morning.
What's up, buddy? If I started the OnlyFans, man, I could retire tomorrow. I'll tell you that right now.
You'd be done, wouldn't you? I mean, you just walk away from your teaching job. You'd just be done.
Yeah, or I could go sneak some pictures of my wife's feet and make it anonymous. Like, right.
Now, wait a minute. Before we get started here.
Yeah, man.
I saw a picture of you and your lovely wife.
Yes.
Did you sneak off and get married?
We did, but we didn't. So what I mean by that is we did a long time ago. But so I'll say I should have made the caption, "Ode to us, new to you." Right? How about that? Right. That's what I should have made it.
I mean, I thought we were in this together. I thought I was going to be there. I mean, come on.
Nobody was there.
I know. That's the way to do it. That was smart. Well, congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. That's great, man. That's great. I'm very happy for you. I thought I saw that. I'm like, well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Lovely photos.
Thanks, buddy. It was
you guys are not an unattractive couple. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, gosh. You're too kind.
All right. Hey, I'm going to write about this week in the Patriot. Let's talk about conference play.
Okay, yeah.
Basketball. I think it gets taken for granted because we're in the college playoff, right?
Okay.
We're in the semifinals. We got the NFL playoffs. We got all this crap going on with the portal.
Yes.
But we kind of sneak in to the turning of the calendar.
Yep.
Boom, here's conference play. And it is, no matter what else is going on, man, it picks right up year after year with changing cast members. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
And, Radford's already had a big win on the road. Tech, their first game goes to triple overtime. You're watching all these games already across the country, man. What is it about conference play? It's the same every year. It's a wonderful 2 months that we have in college hoops coming up.
Yeah, what I love that it marks the halfway point to March Madness. That's the first thing. You get that out the way. It's like we're almost there. It's halfway through the season. March Madness is around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. It truly will. The second thing is just the competition it brings. It's the pressure it brings. It's the physicality. It's the pressure, especially in the CAA and the Big South and the SoCon, the pressure to win home games. Home games are must wins that you can't afford to lose. And then when you think of road wins, Coach Jones used to always say this: it's comparable to gold. And the
Gold
more
bricks.
gold you
Yep.
collect, the better off that'll reflect in the income tournament time, especially with your seeding. A ton of pressure. You see the Virginia Tech Virginia game, triple overtime rivalry, probably the best game in college basketball so far this year in the whole
Yeah.
country. Then Virginia Tech goes out and loses to Wake Forest, but that's just how it is. It's conference play. And I think Virginia Tech still has another level to go when Toby Lawal comes back, but that's neither here nor there right now. But it's just the pressure. It's just teams understanding exactly what your coach wants to do. I would say what your players want to do, but there's so much change every year, right? When I was in the Big South, we played against guys like Kion Brown every year. He was a freshman when I was a freshman. So by the time I was a senior and I played against him, I knew exactly who he was, what he wanted to do, what his breath smelled like, what type of cologne he had on, everything, his entire routine. It's not that anymore. I like to say now is cohesion versus adhesion in college basketball now. No more guys staying for 4 years. You have to try to build something very fast, and that's what it is, man. So conference play is the mark of the half point mark to March Madness, the physicality and everything that comes along with it is the best time of the year.
It is. It is. Yeah. And I hope people take the time to appreciate it. We grew up, well, at least in my era, we'd get the old Jefferson Pilot Network. We'd get one game a week during the week,
Okay.
wherever it was at the old arenas. And it was so special to see those ACC standings. And you'd be like, yeah, or the Metro Conference. It picks back up, and it's been unique because college basketball has been the one thing that has improved. And you said this, I got to give you your flowers. You mentioned this when we restarted the show 2020, and you're coming on, and you said you thought that the portal era was going to kind of make the playing field more even.
Yeah.
And from college hoops competitive standpoint, it has certainly done that with the mid-majors, hasn't it? Not only in relation to the power schools, but just competing against one another.
Yeah, it has. And the portal's broken down into a few ways. You were really good at a high major, but you didn't get playing time. Think Drew Pember of UNC Asheville. You come to the Big South, you dominate. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time Player of the Year, all-world, all-league, everything. You're a player that's in the Big South that's dominating, but you need more looks. Think Carlik Jones at Radford. You're a Big South Freshman of the Year, Big South First Team 3 times, Big South Player of the Year. You hit the buzzer beater, the biggest shot in the history of Radford to send you into the NCAA tournament. Then you go to the transfer portal. You're the number 1 player in the transfer portal, and then you end up going to Louisville. Or you're a player who's taking bad advice. There's somebody playing, and we're just going to keep using Radford. Radford, for example, you average 2 points. So that means you've scored, 60 points on the season. You don't have much film, and your family is saying, you're better than Radford. You need to go to the transfer portal. And then when you go to the transfer portal, nobody's going to want to pick you up. You're going to have to start over somewhere. And what's going to happen when you remain in the transfer portal is you're going to have to get a job at Amazon or UPS, like so many players, this is real, are really doing right now. There are players that are in the transfer portal that are out of college because nobody has picked them up. Just stay in school, finish your degree, get a career plan, and move on with your life. It is okay being a role player. It is. Or the bonus third one is coaches are, pushing players out because they're not developing the way that they think you should. Instead of being a coach and developing you and understanding that it takes time. That is how the transfer portal is broken down, and it's not going anywhere. You got players in college basketball that are 25 years old. There's a guy in college basketball that's about to turn 30 that plays for Green Bay. I understand he has different circumstances, but at the same time, it just shows you where it is. This game is crazy right now on both sides, football and basketball, and until there's rules, it'll continue to be crazy.
Yeah, and there's no rules, as you said. There's no rules about these G League guys, which is ridiculous that they can be pros and come back to college, right? That's going to happen more and more, it feels like.
It's the stupidest thing I've seen all year. And I'm going to add 2025 in there. I know we just got to 26. It's ridiculous that there are players who heard their name be called in the NBA draft.
Right.
although you don't play any minutes, who cares? You get to play overseas for a while and then come back and play college basketball. Are we serious?
I know.
Come on. Some of the stuff you could say, all right, some guys are 25 plus. Okay, right? That's ridiculous in his own right. And we're like, we'll brush it off for the rest of the year. It is what it is. But to have this guy come in the middle of the year, an NBA player, and play college basketball, what are we doing?
I know. And now I think what's going to happen with this what's his name, the Washington quarterback, I think with that kid and what the story is going to be something we need to keep an eye on. Damon Williams, the kid who signed, they had a big, hey, look, I'm signing my new deal with Washington. Then 4 days later, I'm leaving Washington, and apparently LSU is offering him $7 million. So how this court case goes is going to be very crucial, I think, to the future of all this. So,
no doubt about it.
Yeah. So, wow. I don't know, man. We've been talking about the things that could implode this. That's going to be the first thing. How confident are you we're going to see midseason movement at some point be attempted for either football or college basketball players to say, well, I'm here at this school, right? And
I got it.
There's no previous. Oh, wait a minute. You want me to come finish the season with you for how much? Okay. See ya. I wonder if that's going to start happening some.
It could, but I could see that being one of the rules that they change first. That's an easy fix, right? You start where you finish, or if you transfer, you can't play. I can see that being changed quick. I don't think that'll be a thing. But with the NCAA, would it surprise you? No. Of
course not.
No.
I don't know who's going to enforce any of this stuff. Who's going to step in now and enforce anything? And that's what I see people that are really concerned. They're like, where's it going to come from? Because there's nobody in NCAA who can do this because they've allowed all this to happen.
Yeah.
And all they're going to do is get sued.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose. So I don't know how it gets enforced. I just don't know.
I don't either. But at the same time, you can also say, at least we're trying to make change with some of these ridiculous rules. I mean, try to do something. Don't just go back and say nothing and do nothing.
Right.
At least
100%.
trying will make the average fan say at least they're attempting to, right the wrongs in some way. Give us something. I think I told this story before when I was in college basketball. If the coaches gave me a peanut butter sandwich, it was legal. But the second that they added jelly on that peanut butter sandwich and made it a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it was an NCAA violation. That was 2012, my freshman year in college in Radford. That is a real. How ridiculous is that? It only took UConn to win the national championship, and Shabazz Napier went on CBS national TV after the championship game and say, we are hungry at UConn. We don't have much food to eat. And this was a great experience because the NCAA pays for so much food and we're eating good. He said that literally after the game. The rules changed the next morning. And then we ate good at Radford for the rest of the year. The rest of my time there. I remember that.
I remember I was told one time that if I were driving across the Deadman Bridge and I saw like 3 or 4 of you guys basketball players, if it was raining, and I had my truck and I couldn't just say, hey guys, jump in the truck.
Yep. And that was a lot of days we did that.
Yeah, you going to Deadman? Well,
right.
Come on. Well, hey, you gave those guys a ride in the rain? That's a violation.
Yeah,
that's a true story. I said, what?
And there were many days we were walking in the rain and walking in the snow to practice. And there were many days where I saw Rick passing with his truck waving.
First couple times I picked everybody up, and then I was like, hey, I can't do this. All right, so Big South tonight. Middle of the week, we're into the first full week of games since we opened up New Year's Eve, and then Saturday we didn't play. Radford didn't play. What do you think so far? I mean, there were some big road wins so far in the league.
Yeah, it was some big ones, but I think the high point is looking serious right now to start. They started off with UNC Asheville and Longwood, and they ran through both of them. But if there's a team that's going to beat them and can match them talent for talent, is Radford. In my opinion, they're going to have to knock down the 3, but High Point looks like a well-oiled machine right now. They look good. Longwood looks physical as they did. They beat Winthrop pretty handily, and Winthrop looks solid because of the big kid Duncombe in the inside. He had 32 on Longwood when I was broadcasting that game, and Big South is just going to be a slugfest every night, right? High Point's at the top, and then those second tier teams, the Longwood, the Winthrops, and the Radfords, are going to be battling out trying to compete for second place. But the league is going to run through High Point again. That's what I see. And they didn't even shoot the ball well versus Longwood. I think they had 2 threes, but they were up huge in the second half after only making 2 threes or something crazy like that. And it's just going to be a tough league like it always is, but you're going to have to go through High Point if you're going to win it.
And Radford's got maybe the one player in the league that nobody can handle though right now. Dennis Parker Jr. can single-handedly pull out some games. I don't think there's a team in the league that can defend him. They're going to have to spend a lot of time trying to figure him out, and that's going to open things up for other people.
Yeah, he's too versatile. He can shoot the 3. He can play in the inside. He can get rebounds. He can start the fast break. He's a solid defender. The teams are going to have difficulties with him. But there's another kid from Charleston Southern, Bryson Blaine. He's from Richmond, too.
Blaine. Man, he's killing the threes. He doesn't miss a shot.
I'm like, where'd this kid come from? Like, I didn't even being from Richmond and following high school sports, this guy fell through the cracks a little bit for me, or I've been living under a rock. I need to ask my folks around the city where he came from, because he's just doing, dominating the league. Right before conference play started, he went back to Richmond, playing the University of Richmond and Coach Mooney. And I think he almost had 30 on them, and Charleston Southern ended up beating Richmond on the road because of a big game for him going back home. So I need to do a little bit more research on that kid because he's killing it.
Now in the ACC, you mentioned Tech. They won the triple overtime thriller. They're still shorthanded. They're about to finally, it looks like, get healthy. They'll have to slowly work Lawal back in there with the type of injury that he's had. But I feel like they're going to be right up there in the mix once this thing is done, right? Once they get healthy again. Once February gets here and they're clicking on all cylinders, allegedly, right? People can stay healthy. You still see the same pecking order right now. Of course, that weird loss that Louisville had to Stanford was strange. But
and at the same time, Louisville lost to Duke yesterday too. So in the ACC, Duke is the team to beat. They look unbelievable as well, especially they got the freshman of the year, player of the year, all that, and Cam Boozer. He's been a man-child in college basketball. And then Virginia Tech is the team who I believe, and I said it about a month or so ago, they'll be in the NCAA tournament. And I really believe that. And I think that once Toby Lawal comes back, it just takes them to another level, because he and Cohen Carr of Michigan State are the 2 best athletes in college basketball. So he brings a certain level of rim protection. He brings a certain level on the offensive end of being able to be a lob threat, and a guy who's improved with his skills since being at Virginia Tech that Virginia Tech doesn't have, because you can't match the type of athlete that he is. So when he comes back, a whole new level. And the guys like Neil Avdalis are going to be better, because they'll have somebody who will be able to finish above the rim on the offensive side. So that'll just up their playmaking ability. And then for the rest of the ACC, NC State has been underwhelming to me. I think that UVA, despite losing to Virginia Tech, probably has been the second best team in the ACC. Maybe North Carolina. They've been looking all right. Caleb Wilson is one of the best freshmen in college basketball. We saw him up close and personal. That kid is unbelievable. And, it's some middle of the pack teams that are doing well. Cal is better than what I thought they'd be. Louisville is underachieving right now, but we know the potential that they have. Wake Forest is in the middle of the pack. They'll be fighting. Clemson is right in the middle, too. So there's some good teams in the ACC. It'll be a slugfest, and it'll be a bloodbath until ACC tournament time in Pittsburgh.
And you've known Lawal a long time, back in his days at VCU. Before that, even you've followed him a long time. If he's not being able to play, that it's serious, right? Because that kid, he's a baller, man. He wants to be on.
He can go. He can go, man. I mean, I knew him from Coach Byers, and still talk to Coach Byers about him, and just the development and how the person he is too. So I love that about him being a good person. That's what's most important to me.
People have asked that I don't think I've asked you. Maybe I didn't. Did you add anything new? Maybe I did ask you already. Did you add anything new to the LeBron room over Christmas? Did anybody?
I did not. I just got, what did I get for Christmas? Christmas was about the kids this year. And, my favorite Christmas gift to my mom was I got her a little mini photo shoot with her grandkids. So that's
really? Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's very cool. Oh, yeah. That's the best gift she'll ever get now.
Exactly. So for the last few years, she's like, I want photos with my grandkids. All right, cool. That's an easy Christmas gift 2025 coming up. So set that up, made that happen. And I'm getting a new suit, so I got a lot of Men's Warehouse gift cards.
Are you back at school today?
Today is the first day back.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
But the teachers, we've been back since Monday. The students day back today is today.
It's different though when you're there with the fellow teachers. Now you got it's real again.
It feels like I've been back. It's weird. Today was an easy day getting up, etc. So I think I'm good.
By the way, how you liking? And congrats, you're doing a lot of stuff on the ACC network with women's hoops. Now, how you enjoying that? Transferring over to the women's game.
Oh man! So first of all, obviously, again, not here without you.
Well, no.
And for my first time on there, I kind of killed it. So I'm excited. I was excited about that. Obviously got invited back. Obviously, the producers there that work within the ACC network were like, all right, next year we got to have you on the men's games too. So that's how good I did. So it was amazing learning experience. It's different from calling the game on, with you or in the MAC or in the SoCon or in the with other Big South schools, because when those higher production, I guess, streams or whatever, they talk in your ear the entire time.
I know.
So it was a lot of times where I was talking and then they come up and say, all right, you got to read the graphic, but I pause a little bit, try to hear them. But I'm like, dude, my brain isn't wired to hear you talk while I'm talking.
I know.
So that's the only thing I got to get used to. That's it.
I know. I did a couple of those games back in the past when I filled in, and it's like, stop.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah. I was not prepared for that, but at the same time, I thought I did a good job, finishing, even though.
Well, of course you did. I have no doubt. Well, congratulations, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
All that stuff. It's awesome. All right. Well, we'll see what happens tonight. Are your Lancers at home or are you on the road? Where are you guys?
The Lancers are on the road today, so I think they're Charleston Southern today.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't think they're not back home until maybe next week. And then next week I have 2 games at Longwood on a Wednesday, and then I'm at Mount St. Mary's on a Thursday. So I have back-to-back next week.
Yeah, and they come to Radford, not this weekend, but the next Saturday. I think that's what it is. So yeah. Well, all right, man. We'll keep grinding, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations on everything, and
thank you for everything,
on the wedding and
everything. Man.
It's awesome.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, and you stay safe, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother.
All right, there you go. KB, Kion Brown. Yep. Going to expand his role in the ACC network. He's great. Love that kid. He's a great dude. You could just you get to know somebody as they come through Radford, and then his energy level and everything. And I'm so happy for him, man. He's worked hard and he's good at it. He has a passion for it. And you're going to see him a long, long time, I think, doing this in this business. Not going to surprise me at all. So I'm very happy for him. Damien Sordelet's going to join us here in about 10 minutes or so. David Teel and then Dight Vick. I told you it was a banger with these 4 guys on the show today. Where else are you going to find that on YouTube? Nowhere. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Kion has always been a hard worker going back to his playing youth. Yes, he has. And he loves to tell that story, when he got to Radford, kind of player that he was, and then what he turned himself into. Absolutely. So he used that as, college athletics. Kion worked his tail off, not only on the floor, but in school. And now he's doing it, and it's going to pay off because he's good at what he does. And he does it for all the right reasons. That's right. Wayne was watching Vision Quest last night. I love Vision Quest. We'll have to ask Dight about Vision Quest. He's a movie guy. Dight Vick's a movie guy. It's a good movie. Good movie. Linda Fiorentino. Enough said. Enough said. But yeah, I did answer in chat. I don't know if you saw it, Prometheus. The highs are 8-8, 1-0. Presbyterian tonight. Let's see here. We should have point spreads. Let's see here. You never know when stuff comes out nowadays. Let's see. We still don't really. Kind of surprised at that. How did they not have that down yet? It's the day of the game. They've only got one. They've only got 2 of them so far. Asheville 4.5-point favorites against Longwood. Charleston Southern 7.5-point underdogs at Winthrop. So anyway, that's tonight. You can join us. We've got Tech and Radford tonight. It is a big local basketball evening for both Tech and Radford. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, the Blue Hose. The Blue Hose and the Highlanders. Very similar mascot. Now, the Blue Hose is, I believe, the same representative of Mel Gibson in Braveheart. I believe those were Blue Hose. Yeah. So I tell you, when the Highlanders and the Blue Hose go head to head, you better watch out. It's the battle between who wears the skirt better, the kilt better. But yeah, Vision Quest is a great movie. It is. I like it when they go and shoot the guy he ends up wrestling at the end for the title. Shoot. They go to the school. He's carrying the log up the steps. And Shoot sees him and just looks at him. You gonna make weight? I like that. It was pretty good. Pretty good. Over the top, Prometheus. Wow. Turn the hat backwards. That's right. That's whenever he turned the hat backwards, you knew you're in trouble. Stallone was so influential, he could get arm wrestling as a major part of a movie. It's just crazy, man. Good for him. Over the top. We don't have people like that in movies anymore. We don't have the Sylvester Stallones and the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and Tebow says, when a kid is already making big NIL money, what's your take on does that affect their incentive? Yes, absolutely it does. I think certain guys, and I've already been told this by coaches, Tebow, in college basketball in particular, they're just trying to get paid. Many schools coaches I've talked to, they see work ethic drop. They don't work as hard in the weight room. Because these deals are guaranteed, because there's no contract structure, there's no employee agreement. Once you sign a deal at the school, they're expected to get the money. Absolutely. You are 100% on it. And I don't know what their incentive is if guys don't project to the next level. Yeah, it is affecting it. It's affecting it, and it's going to really affect it in college football now, especially with some of these new salaries for these quarterbacks. Somebody on the professional door text line sent me a text where there were 154 quarterbacks in the portal. There's only 136 starting jobs, FBS starting jobs. So there you go. Yes, the music in Vision Quest is outstanding. Sans the Madonna. But Only the Young, when they play that hits hard in that movie, the Journey song. Yeah. Hits really hard. It's in what happens in those 6 minutes that counts, Vision Quest. Yeah. You know who's a low-key important figure in that movie? Is the older gentleman. I don't know his name. Wayne, you just watched it. Was he the bartender or whatever he was? No, the restaurant where he would eat. And he had to explain that to him, why it was so important, why he came to watch him wrestle, and why it meant so much to him. That is a very well-written character. What's his name? I don't know what his name is. But his wrestling was the reason that he really said he existed. Yeah, the guy who arm wrestled with him. Yeah. Yeah, his best friend was awesome. That's a good movie, man. I'm gonna have to watch that again. Joining us now on the program once again is that guy. He is the Virginia Tech beat writer for the Roanoke Times, Damien Sordelett. What's up, Damien? Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. I've spent way too much time looking at a screen with all the transfer portal stuff.
Yeah, I bet you have. You have.
Like, some of the stuff drops at midnight. I'm like, dude, I'm in bed already. Come on. Give me a break.
It never sleeps. It never sleeps, man.
No, it doesn't.
It's bad. It's bad. And now this Washington story, everybody's tweeting about it this morning on X. This whole thing is just, we're going to see more of that, aren't we? Where you sign a deal and then immediately or shortly after a kid's going to say, nope, I'm going to go somewhere else. This is the first thing. We're waiting on something to break this horrible system, right? Maybe this is the first thing that starts to do that. We'll see.
Yeah. How many, I've noticed a bunch of players who have said they're committed to one place and then they go to another the next day.
Yeah.
It's not just one, it's been several. Probably because just like their high school recruitment, they probably think they don't have a binding commitment when they say, oh, we'll agree to this NIL package and all that stuff, and then go on another visit and like, oh, I like this place better.
Yeah.
That's why James Franklin's policy has always been don't come and commit immediately. If you have any reservations, go somewhere else. And if you always feel the pull to come back here, we're here for you. I know it's a little different in the transfer portal because you have such a tight window to get everyone in. And that's why you've noticed that he is going after guys that have previous relationships with him and his assistant coaches. Though Cam Chadwick, the cornerback from UConn, I hadn't done enough research on him to see if the paths across in recruiting for him or with I know he didn't cross paths with Anthony Midget, but I don't know if he crossed paths with Pry in recruiting or Franklin in recruiting or Vic Hall in recruiting. So be interested to see how that played out. But he's gone with guys that they know, and that's why they're able to be set on when they come here. They get them in the fold, and they close the recruitment very quickly.
Yeah, Damon Williams, they made the big deal. He signed the $4 million deal, did the whole photo thing, and then now he's saying he's out, and it looks like Lane Kiffin's poached him away. There are going to be guys now making more money. They already are making more money in college than they would have in the rookie contract in the NFL.
Yeah.
And this is where this is just there's no way this is sustainable, right? There's no way this can stay like it is.
No, and I thought that's what Deloach was supposed to do, to set the market value. So that way for NIL, you're not skewing the market when it comes to these NIL contracts. I thought Deloach was supposed to say, all right, this is the market value for this player. Are you paying him the right amount, or are you skewing the market and saying we're going to go higher just to get him in a bidding war? And I thought Deloach was supposed to come in and say, no, this deal is overpriced. You have to go back to the table. It seems like the universities are like, screw it. We don't care.
Yeah.
Because really, what's the enforcement for it? Like,
none.
They're just going to go to court and sue.
Yeah.
Probably spend more money suing them than what the actual NIL value is. So it's, again, I mean, I understand Damon Williams was going to stay at Washington. They're happy there, but then I guess Lane Kiffin kept striking out on quarterbacks because he didn't get his guys to follow him from Ole Miss, and he didn't get some other guys. So he's like, I'll go for the next best guy.
Yeah. And apparently Jed Fish, the head coach at Washington, said, okay, we got that done. They're out recruiting. They turned down 2 other quarterbacks that wanted to come visit, right? And then they get the call in the middle of the night, hey, your guy just left. What?
Yeah.
What? So
I
don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of money, coaches' salaries were released for Virginia Tech. They left about, $4 million or so, I guess, that they didn't spend, that they had allotted. Is that good value, good bargaining, or is that an indication that, like what I've been told, a lot of the guys that he really wanted didn't agree to come. Well, how do you look at that thing, and what kind of numbers are we looking at here?
Well, we're still waiting for Anthony Midget's contract because I don't believe he's signed yet since he's still employed by the Steelers.
Okay.
Though I didn't request him because I figured if he's still working with the Steelers, he might not have signed his deal yet. He could have signed his ROL and or his letter of intent, and might have had the figures in there. I'll probably need to do some more FOIA requests, but yeah, right now Brent Pry is the only assistant coach making more than $1 million a year. If you factor in like retention bonuses and other bonuses that are factored in, I think right now with your assistant coaches, you're somewhere between 6.5 and 7.1 million for your assistants. Pry at 1.5, Ty Howe at 966, Sean Spencer at 750, Fontel Mines at 675, Norvell McKenzie at 605. So you're getting, I mean, they might be saving something for, your co-defensive coordinator, safeties coach. Heard Morgan from Michigan was not retained, and they might bring him on. Figured that would have happened already, unless they want him to recruit some players from Michigan's roster to come with him before he signs, since he is technically a private citizen. Maybe he's working on Andre Clark to get him to Virginia Tech, since he was just released from his national letter of intent. Kid from Hermitage that Virginia Tech was really going after on signing day before he remained committed to Michigan. But I've noticed like the salary pool for your support staff and then like the other assistants, that has gone up quite a bit. There's more six figures for some of those guys than there were under the previous staff. Like, for instance, like David Rocco, the assistant tight ends coach, is making $150,000. Jens Danielson, the assistant offensive line coach, is making $200,000. Matt Colangelo, a special teams analyst, is making $140,000. So you're paying these assistant coaches who have more job than what they had in the past. You're paying them better. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, we'll see how the numbers play out. The numbers always seem to work out, and it might be you're going to allocate some of that to maybe NIL to help out, or I don't know. I mean, he's got the pool. You don't have to spend it, or you could spend it on if you need to. So it's nice to have some change in the bank, where if you need to go get someone else down the line and you have the wiggle room to go spend a little bit more, that you can do that versus maxing out that first year and really not having the room to give guys raises or anything like that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it all looks at the end. Have you heard anything? I mean, there was some premature reporting out there that J.C. Price is on staff. That's not true. We found out yesterday from one of his best friends that wasn't true, Todd Grantham. So have you heard anything else about J.C.? I know they hired an analyst. That was a position that everybody was reporting he was going to take, and that position seems like it's taken up now. Have you heard anything about J.C. specifically?
I haven't heard anything. I know from a health perspective, he was coaching from the I was told he was coaching from the booth when he was at games the last couple of weeks. He didn't go to Florida State. I did see him at signing day. He looked in good health, but this is probably one of those situations where he's taken care of. He's made a good bit of money, and he can live in Blacksburg. And I don't know, carve out a position similar to what Bud had after he retired, where he's involved in the university and has less responsibility. I would do that. But I haven't heard anything specific with JC. Hopefully we get some clarification here once the staff's filled out. And Wayne, to answer your question, prize buyout is offset. That doesn't factor into the salary pool. But if it did, you're only adding $1 million to it. So The figure I threw out, the 1.5, that is his contract. That's not his buyout.
There you go. Damien Sordelett with the numbers, baby. I knew you'd have them. A lot of Penn State guys so far look like they're following. It's happening everywhere. I mean, heck, I think they showed Penn State's got like 19 Iowa State guys following Campbell. So, I mean, it's what's going to happen. It's going to be a one-year advantage that you have, you won't have next year. So it looks like Tech's following along the same success pattern, right, with James Franklin getting a lot of these guys that he had previous relationships with.
Yeah, and he's not going for the one-year mercenaries. He's going for the guys who have 3-4 years of eligibility left. And he's actually he's essentially saying, all right, we'll just replace the previous signing class at Virginia Tech. If they don't work out, we'll just bring in the guys that we know. And because I'm looking at the roster right now, and there's 18 seniors and 9 juniors, and then the rest are freshmen and sophomores. So there's 10 juniors, but 28 of your roster, 28 players on your roster currently, or for scholarship guys, are currently 1 or 2 years left, and then you have everyone else 3 or 4 years left.
You hope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he's building it out. He's constructing this roster to where there might be some bumps this first year, but you're going to get some guys. Grunkemeyer, I've heard it's a done deal.
Yeah, we were asking about. People have been asking me about that. I'm glad they brought that. Yeah, because he hasn't changed his X profile. He just added a picture of him holding up the trophy after the bowl game. So you think there's some finalization there?
I think, and he's going to be the starter. You're not going to find a guy with 3 years of eligibility left who has 7 starts against Power 4 competition out there. And the fact that, Matt Campbell's like, yeah, you completed nearly 70% of your passes. You were really good against Indiana. You're really good against Clemson. No, I'm going to go with Rocco Beck. Sorry. Go elsewhere and go with a guy who's got 1 year left versus you've got 3 years left. We'll go over the other guy, and you bring in Grunkemeyer. Then I think you add in Baker from UNC, who's got 4 years left. So now all of a sudden your quarterback room, if you keep Ryan and Brand along with Troy Hune, you have 5 quarterbacks with 3+ years of experience, with 3+ years of eligibility left. Now all those guys won't stay.
No, there's going to be a lot of turnover there.
If Grunkemeyer is going to be your starter for the next 3 years, you need you'll have some guys who will leave for starting opportunities elsewhere. So I'm still expecting some more movement with guys leaving, and then to make room for guys coming in, just to make sure the numbers work out. Because I'm interesting. We haven't heard from Benji Gosnell yet in terms of, is he returning? I'm assuming he is, because he will fit in perfectly with this offense.
We know how good he can be. That's the thing. He's a guy. Phil Nation says he's an NFL guy.
Oh, he is. He's probably one of the best receiving tight ends in the ACC, and they just didn't use him last year. Because Philip Montgomery's offense did, hindsight being 2020, Brent probably should have just elevated Brent Davis to OC when Tyler Bowen left, and he would have been running the same type of offense, which relies on tight ends. Bill Davis, Wayne, you brought up a running back who Norvell McKenzie recruited when he was at Vanderbilt. And this was post James Franklin, so there was a relationship there prior to McKenzie going to Georgia Tech. So long haul, what's that?
Yeah, there's no long haul. That's what I try to keep people. It's great. Yeah, everybody's talking about all these years these kids have, but if you think that in this day and age, unless there's change, that kids are just going to sit there if they're not getting paid a certain amount and not play just because James Franklin wants them to, that it's not going to be any different at Tech than it is anywhere else. He's going to be replacing those guys every year, just like every other school.
Yeah. I would say this, that especially on the offensive line, like with Justin Bell coming in from Michigan State. He's got a year of practicing at the college level, and he's got a year of weight room, so he has an advantage over the 7 guys you're bringing in from the high school class. So
Yeah, that's
you
right.
can probably throw him in the mix. Reynolds, the tight end from Penn State. I have a feeling they will bring him in, and he's got 3 years left. So another young guy. That means Harrison St. Germain's on his way out, or because he's got 1 year left, you keep him there. I mean, if he enters the portal, he's probably going to Pitt with Brent Davis. I still think there's a long haul. You just have
However
to plan
that's
for
defined. Yeah, however that's defined. It'll be
You have to-
yeah.
you have to plan for several years down the line. You can't just plan for right now. I know the mindset has shifted to what have you done for me lately and an instant gratification mindset, but you'll have to, is that LSU offensive lineman visiting? Is he the one who already signed elsewhere, or is that a different guy, if I'm not mistaken, Tebow?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
know one was scheduled to visit, but he is already committed.
Yeah.
Wayne, to answer your question about high school kids coming in early, I haven't heard an answer. I know Tech Sideline had a piece with Troy Hume. He's coming in early, so you'll probably have all 5 quarterbacks. You go for young guys because from an NIL perspective, guys who have redshirted and don't have any experience, you can probably get them for cheaper. And you're not shelving out as like the NIL package you give to Kamari Copeland to keep him. I know his agent said it's probably one of the highest in the college football.
You got a bag, man.
Well, for good defensive linemen, when he's considering the NFL, and then you got other colleges coming after him, you keep a guy like Kamari Copeland because he's going to be the anchor of your defensive line. Tennessee. Thanks, Chris. So you go after guys who, like a Justin Bell, he's probably not going to cost as much in NIL as you would get a guy who's got, like a Xavier Chaplin, for example. Xavier Chaplin would probably command considerably more than a Justin Bell. And Justin Bell was recruited by Matt Moore when Moore was at West Virginia. So you can get a guy who you're like, all right, he's got the tools that can be successful. I know him, and we can get him for cheaper. And then as each year goes on, you just give him a little bit more as he improves. You don't just say and this is where Brent Pry, he knew year 4 he had to go all in. So he had to go after like one and done guys and probably pay them a little bit more than what he wanted. And we saw the result. It didn't work out well. Not like it did at UVA, where they had success from it. Pry wasn't able to find that magic in the bottle that Tony Elliott did. So Franklin's going to I know these guys come in. There's not a big demand for you in terms of NIL space, so we can get you for a little cheaper, and then each year, just keep adding to it.
Yeah, Pry, you're right. Pry was not a good evaluator in the portal.
So he had to recruit
recruit
guys in the winter window when you don't know who your defensive coordinator is. So you're recruiting guys who you think could fit one particular scheme, but then you go to Sam Safkus, who runs a different scheme. And then you're recruiting guys on offense thinking they're going to be under Tyler Bowen and then Philip Montgomery. Different offense. So you spent the entire winter bringing in the transfer class that you think is going to be the backbone for particular schemes, and then the schemes are changed. That's what happened. And that's kind of where everything fell apart. At least with Franklin now, he knows what Ty Howell's running on offense. He knows what Brent Pry's defense is going to be, so they know who they're going to recruit. And
well, we'll see, man. There's so much uncertainty. We see it every day with the reporting, everything.
Yeah, Chris is right. Pry didn't have the NIL resources that Elliott had. Pry didn't have the resources that Franklin has this year. Pry mentioned Moneyball quite a bit last year.
Yeah. Well, and plus, too, he was more concerned about – he knew that he was going to be in trouble if he didn't make staff changes, right? He knew that there was a lot of pressure going on. He may have been distracted about going into the whole season, too.
Yeah, and then
You know?
the deal with that is he was going after Jim Knowles. And we see usually it takes a year or two to get that off. It takes about 2 years to get that defense under wraps. Probably the same thing with Sam Cephas. You probably need multiple years to get that defense understood. So you probably should have gone and hired a defensive coordinator who ran a similar scheme so that way the returning players plus the incoming players have an idea of what you're doing. I have a feeling Pry's going to go run his defense they ran at Penn State.
Yeah.
And what was ran that first year at Virginia Tech. And say what you want about Chris Marv, he kept most of that defensive scheme, and the numbers weren't bad. It's just lack of conditioning led to the defense just not being able to finish games.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Tootin is playing well, but Tootin had like 20 offers, and he picked Blacksburg. I mean, APR was one of the highest rated guys in the portal, so it's not like
and Pry's initial portal classes, he got guys your guys with multiple years, and they were able to develop. Tootin, APR, Jalen Lane, Daquan Felton. You can go back. Stephen Gosnell was one of his first guys he brought in. He had multiple years, and he was a really good wide receiver. I mean, he hit the nail on the head on Aeneas Peoples in terms of evaluation for a 1-year guy. It's just, he probably hit it well with Ellis, but Ellis decided to leave.
Who's the biggest losses you think of kids you've seen that are leaving Tech that have signed elsewhere? Who do you see somebody that's, okay, now they got to go out and try to find somebody to, replicate what he's able to do?
I don't know if they've really lost. I don't know if they've really lost anyone. I mean, Caleb Woodson needed a fresh start.
Yeah, he did.
After everything that happened last year, plus do you want to be playing hanging over your head? You want to be playing with the suspended sentence, the probation, supervised probation, all that stuff. You want to hang over his head the whole year. You can go to Tuscaloosa. Yeah. You can go to the SEC where most of the players there are on probation. For something. It's like Kirby Smart has to host a seminar each year with the coaching staff saying, all right, here's how you handle kids who are on probation. I'm good with that. My guys.
Right.
My guys.
17 or something like that. 17 driving violations or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. Yeah. There's some players like I think Micah Matthews is one that I don't know. I figured he would stay at Virginia Tech for baseball, since he had that option. That's who I thought. That might be one that hurts down the line just because he was good in both sports and he really didn't get a chance. I need to see Noah Chambers announce he's coming back. He's one that I think everyone has said, he needs to stay.
You think we'll get numbers, by the way? You think we'll ever find out what they spent total in this class?
Oh, yeah. We'll get every year on the taxes. We'll just have to wait till the taxes come out. Hey, Chris, do you think Josh Clark's a safety or cornerback? Because I think he's a really good cornerback who could have started last year if he hadn't torn his ACL. The fact that they have Deloach, Knowledge Harold, Clark back, I like that. I just want to see something from Jordan Krim and Brennan Johnson, or JoJo Krim and Brennan Johnson. Get those guys in. Have to see what happens with IBM. Have to see what happens with, say, a guy like Tyson Flowers. But yeah, you want to keep Noah Chambers. You want to keep a guy like Gabe Williams, Emmett Laws, Christian Evans, those guys on the defensive line. I got a feeling most of the offensive linemen are going to be staying because they came for Matt Moore and Matt Moore staying. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. Josh Clark was supposed to be CB1 last year. He's good. We
You
saw
should
in
get
the
good
bowl.
news. You should get good news here soon. I think you're going to start getting access again soon, from what I'm hearing.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, he wants to promote the spring game. And Burnip was on yesterday. Apparently, he jumped on like at halftime for a little bit on their broadcast.
Yeah.
And
well, he also was on the ACC network, and he mentioned that they had just one position left to fill, which was co-DC and safeties coach.
So he's got to start. He's got to start talking to you guys now if he wants to promote things. So.
Oh yeah. 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 So I'll trust Chris Lester here. This guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to a lot of stuff. Yeah, I just want to see some guys.
Oh, our chat is undefeated. Our chat knows everything. Our chat's great. Our chat is great.
Well, no, I see Chris on social medias, and when he chimes in, he's usually spitting fire.
Straight fire.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know on offensive line. Abby Stevens. I don't see if those guys are back. That's another position where, unless like Elijah falls back for another year and you want him to still play outside, I don't know. You might have to go find some defensive ends. I know they're going to need some more offensive linemen to make it work. We haven't heard back from Johnny Garrett. We haven't heard from Johnny Garrett yet if he's coming back.
Wide receiver. I saw Prometheus.
Yeah, so
about
Aiden
that.
Green, Chance Wiggins. I know it's not official yet, but I see on the boards that Brody Adams is coming back. If Wiggins and Adams can stay healthy, they will probably be on the field quite a bit. Don't know what's up with Peterkin if he stays. Yeah, Clatterball would be a good one to keep. He's a guy you could I know they put him over there at outside linebacker edge. Does he develop into that? Can he move back inside? You can do a lot with him. I would definitely keep him in the fold just to see how he develops. Because when he played and before he got hurt in the NC State game, he was doing well in that one. And I'm going to take the there's a inside linebacker from Penn State who's visiting, who's got 2 years left. Can't remember his name, but he's a Penn State guy who I think they said played basically everywhere. And in 2023 played a lot of snaps before he missed the entire 2024 season.
It's wild,
I'm ready to get.
It's wild. And then it's wild. Yeah, but you're going to have maybe 20 Penn State guys, right? When you add up the high school kids with the guys who are
Well, Terry Wiggins said it when he announced his commitment on signing day. It's Penn State 2.0.
Yeah, he's going to, and this will be the last year he's going to have that advantage, but he's taking advantage of it this year. Same thing with Matt Campbell, Same thing.
Well, he has to. I mean, Penn State had 37 players in the portal?
Yeah.
Tucker Holloway is going to FAU.
Is that where he went?
FAU announced that he signed with them.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, Dante Lovett's at UCLA.
Saw that one.
Let's see. Michael Short is at TCU. That's probably a better fit for him. Woodson's at Alabama. I haven't seen anyone else yet announce.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Wayne, I'm ready to get some airline miles because there's going to be a lot of flights.
That's right. You will have some flights. You love flying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Christian Ellis, UVA. Oh yeah, I mentioned this last week. How I want the opener to be at either Cal or BC.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm hoping baseball season's still going on.
That's right.
Catch a game at.
You want to go watch a game? I get it.
Yeah.
Who you like, by the way? Our fan question of the week for the semifinals. Who you got winning the two games? Friday, is it Friday and Saturday? Yeah, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami over Ole Miss.
Okay.
And Oregon to beat Indiana.
Oh, wow. You're going against the okay. All right. Thursday, Friday, by the way.
Oregon's getting healthy. And we saw what their defense could do against Texas Tech.
So you got Oregon and Miami in the final.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I've been leaning Indiana, and then I just think Oregon's getting healthy. And I think Dan Lanning's coaching with a chip on his shoulder how they were the number 1 seed last year and went 0-1. And let me tell you, if Miami wins it all, Miami is going to be raking in some cash from this.
Yeah, they are.
Since the ACC's like, oh, you're the one going for, and the ACC did that. The ACC said the Success Initiative, you can make up to $40 million in a year,
right?
If you go and win the CFP. So,
put all that in NIL. They put all that right and drop that right in their NIL budget.
Paul Dante Moore
pay for play. Yeah.
Paul Dante Moore is considered probably the number 1 quarterback in this NFL draft class.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, Mendoza, I think, will be.
Yeah, but I think
he's more NFL ready. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think people like Moore. I mean, like he's high on Mel Kiper's board, and
he also said Mel Kiper also said Shadur Sanders was going to be a flat out star. So, and got mad at teams for not drafting him.
Well, Mel Kiper over the years has made some people mad.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have Whittingham in that running game that takes pressure off more. Oregon's balanced, just like Indiana. I just think Oregon is peaking now. I don't know if Oregon was at full strength when they played Indiana the first time out in Eugene during the regular season.
You got to love Signetti, too. He was mad. He had those – they ended up getting all 5 of them, but they had those guys in on their campus, the portal guys, and he's like he finally just said, guys, we'll let everybody – I got to prepare. I got to play for a semifinal national. You know, he's like, if you want to come be part of this, this is what I'm doing. Everybody else can show you around the rest of this trip. I got to get in there with my coaches. I thought that was class. That's just so – and he got all of them. He got all 5 of them.
That's a great recruiting pitch.
I think subtly it was, wasn't it? Hey, I got to go prepare for the national semifinals here. Yeah.
Just like if the Steelers advance, if the Steelers keep going through the playoffs and actually win, your pitch is going to be, hey, you're going to play for a cornerbacks coach in Anthony Midget who played here and was really good, played in the NFL and has coached in the NFL, and he knows how to get there. That's a good recruiting pitch. Especially if I'm not saying the Steelers are going to do the Super Bowl. I don't even know if they're going to win this week, even at home. I think the Texans are really good. Yeah, the Texans. They're playing. But yeah, that's a good recruiting pitch for them. And
it's easy. It's just easy. Just easy.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, back to the roster, like Caleb Spencer's a guy who I think people like, but does he stick around or does he go elsewhere? Because again, don't know. Because I'm looking at my roster chart and I'm trying to figure out like who is announced they're coming back, and Signetti's got a stellar recruiting pitch right now. He's like, Google me, I win.
That's what he said. Look at my record. I don't know what else to tell you. He's got a little chip on his shoulder too, because he's tired of. He still thinks everybody's doubting him that this isn't real. And he's I loved what he said after the game where the sideline reporter asked the stupid question about, where your guys, how did you keep your guys from being overwhelmed? And he goes, why would we be overwhelmed? Because our name's Indiana, not another name.
Because we're a basketball school.
Right. I thought that was a great answer. She shut up pretty quickly and she completely changed her questioning.
Yeah. But again, you're trying to get something from him and you're like, and that's probably the go-to. Is like, how do you
Yeah.
like? That's a sideline question. Like, how do you make this moment not bigger than what it is? And that's usually a talking point, especially when you've never been at that spot before.
Well, the way she said it, it was almost like she was saying, "How can Indiana survive this? The way they, I get why you got a little miffed."
Yeah, how can Indiana take the belt from Michael Irvin and out of his hands and take it to Alabama?
He's insane, isn't he, Michael? It's certified. He's either insane or he's on heavy narcotics during these games, right? I mean, we're pretty much one or the other, or it could be both.
I always want to get the close up and see if there's any white stuff underneath his nose.
Yeah,
because he is something.
Yeah, he is something.
I remember seeing his antics last year at Miami when Virginia Tech was playing them. And you could kind of see him from like our vantage caddy corner in the press box. I'm like, who is? Oh, that's Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
Free coaching. Yeah, I don't know if you want to get advice from Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis. On field, yes. Off field, no. No.
You just let them do their thing. Yeah,
do not go to a nightclub in Atlanta during Super Bowl weekend.
No, that's not going to work.
Do that.
Not going to work.
Nope.
Well, listen, brother, great stuff. Enjoy the games this weekend. Yes, Damien has an X account. Follow Damien Sordelett. Just type it in.
Yeah, it's my name on here. Yeah, no space.
Yep. Follow him. Absolutely. Yep. Great stuff is all. When are you coming down to Radford again? When do I get to see you at another Radford game? You come anytime soon?
Saturday, I'm going to be at the Krager Center because 10-1 Washington Lee is playing at number 10 Roanoke College. So I'll be there.
Sure.
Yeah, I got to see what the schedule looks like.
All right.
To get down there.
We got Longwood next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So there's an in-state battle.
And Longwood's playing well.
Yeah, they are. And that's been we've got a nice little rivalry now since Liberty left with Longwood. So it works out. That might be fun. So
yeah. That rivalry with Liberty was pretty good.
Yeah. Classic, man. Classic.
That 2018? 2018 title game. Carly Jones.
The shot heard around the world. The greatest moment in the history of Radford basketball right there on that.
That Deadman Center was packed.
Yeah. With me screaming like a maniac on the call.
Yeah. I mean, you got Jerry Falwell Jr. stuck in there in the visitor section, like cramped in with everyone else.
Oh, great. It was great. It was
a great game.
It was a great game. Standing room only. It's hot. It was. There were 5,000 people in there, and Devin doesn't hold that many, so it was great.
Was great. From a TV perspective, that is everything the Big South wanted to.
100%
place.
And that's why I think they need to go back to the home sites at some point. I mean, I didn't used to like it, but you're not getting any atmosphere now. Johnson City last year, no atmosphere.
Well, there are talks that Salem is getting involved for the Big South tournament.
That would be great. That would be awesome. I hope so.
Like you would have the ODAC tournament one week, and then I think the Big South tournament would be the next week.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I mean, to have down at the Civic Center, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be great, man. Be great for Radford and Longwood too.
Yeah. VScoop is credible. A lot of those guys are plugged in, especially with the transfer portal stuff, because they can get from the national 247 guys.
But they're re-reporting things. They're not necessarily.
Well, they're also able to. Like some of the national guys be like, hey, you guys can report this because it's your guys. That's how they do with all the 247 sites.
Yeah.
It's credible. If it's connected with 247 Sports, they have a wide network of people who are in the know.
But Scoop also the ones that said that J.C. Price had signed on as a coach, and I was like, you heard some information.
Yeah, well, I think Evan Watkins had said had already said the deal wasn't done. That's his deal. The deal's not done. That's what they're saying with like Grunkemeyer. Like the deal's not done, but it's going to be done.
Yeah. Well, it was reported that it was done. And that's where we are. That's why people are concerned. They're hitting me up on the text line, like, what's going on? Well, just wait. We
So
haven't got anything counter, so we'll see.
I always saw that it was expected to be done.
Yeah. Well, there was
I
some
think
there.
Yahoo Sports went ahead and said that he had committed.
There were several. Wayne sent a screenshot. There were several sites that said this is done, signed. He's moving. Boom, he's done. So we'll see.
Yeah. Until he or a national guy says, "Oh, it's done," I'm like, "Nope, not done."
Yeah, Salem Civic Center is perfect for the Big South. Yeah, 5,000,
Yeah.
but that's all we need for the Big South. Yeah.
I mean, the Salem Civic Center could use some upgrades on the inside.
It could. But yeah, 5,000 is about what we'd be looking at. I mean, so that's fine. Great atmosphere too.
Great atmosphere, and you can bring in some seats for the base lines.
Yeah, good stuff. I would love.
I mean, it would be a good setup for the Big South, and again, local to Radford and Longwood. If you were to have, I mean, I thought Bojangles Coliseum could serve well if Winthrop was playing in the title game. But if you could get Radford and Longwood in the title game of a Big South tournament, the Salem Civic Center would be an ideal.
It'd be rocking.
Spot.
It'd be rocking. Yeah. Well, Damien, listen, man, have a great rest of the week and enjoy the games, brother. And we'll reconvene and see how things develop next week.
Yeah, we'll see if Miami and Oregon are playing in the title game or if I just get it completely wrong.
Well, who knows? You may have both green schools involved. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, gosh. I would like to see the color matchup in that one.
I know.
Have Miami go orange and Oregon and it's neon green.
There you go. We'll see. All right, brother. Have a great rest of the week, man. All right.
You too.
There you go. Good stuff from Damien Sordelett, as always. Good info there. Good stuff. David Teel going to join us. We just keep it going, man. Just keep it going. Bring it to Auburn High School. Yeah, the atmosphere that day he's talking about, when it's at home sites, it's different. It is. You know, that was special. That was a special day. If you ever want to hear my outrageous call, you type into YouTube, Carleek Jones shot Rick Watson call. Don't listen to the ESPN guy. Jones got it. Or something like that. Just like, really? Thanks, Prometheus. Yeah, Damien's that's good stuff. I'd just like him to stay on and answer your questions. You know, because he's got, that's what he does. He covers Tech football specifically, so that's great. West says Gruckmeyer doesn't show up on the transfer commitment VT 247 recruit site. Yeah, Flint, that's what some people were telling me yesterday, which is why I looked into it. So yeah. So I don't know, but Damien said he felt like it was good to go. So Dight Vick joins us here coming up in about 20 minutes and joining us now on the program. We wish a happy new year to the Hall of Famer, David Teel. What's up, David? How you doing, man?
Good morning. Happy New Year to you, Rick.
Yeah, great to see you, man. Hey, you got to go to an NBA game I saw.
We did. Went and saw the Hawks and the Knicks at the Garden.
Oh, at the Garden. That's great. Did Tiny Teel have a good time?
She did. She tolerated the basketball game and loved Hamilton and Hadestown on Broadway.
Oh, wow. Good for you, man. That's awesome. That is awesome.
That was her Christmas gift.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, that's she'll remember that. That's the thing, too, man. She's going to remember that the rest of her life, too. That moment,
Certainly cool. Think so.
Yeah.
I mean, and we will, too. We loved both the shows.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, it was a great picture of you guys. All right, so we've had people, the attorney Ryan Price asking about Chandler Morris at UVA. What have you heard? Have you heard anything about Chandler Morris coming back, or what's going on with him in Charlottesville?
My sense is, Rick, that the chances are he's done. He sure sounded like it after the Gator Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, he was asked point blank about leaving the program in a better place than he found it. And he did not push back on that narrative. In fact, he said, that's the way I've been raised, to leave something better than I found it. It sounded like somebody saying goodbye. Now, maybe there will be some changes. Maybe he will lawyer up and push back on the NCAA. But my sense is that his original petition has been denied, and whether he wants to extend the process perhaps is undecided.
All right, there you go, Ryan. There you go. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen for him. What have you heard on the front for them? You know, I still most of it comes from Tech fans, but you know, you have a record-setting season, 11 wins. They bounced back from the disappointment in the ACC championship game. They beat an SEC team. I don't care who's playing and who's not playing. That's a heck of a win. You do everything you need to do to make this a special season. Everybody wants to criticize them for how their team was put together and their schedule. And I have to ask the question, how many of those same people would have accepted that for whatever team you pull for in 2025? Right.
Well, why would you criticize how the team was put together?
Exactly.
That's how the world works.
100%.
I mean, what is Virginia Tech and James Franklin trying to do now? Buy the best possible roster.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Texas Tech did to make the playoff. That's what Miami has done. That's Indiana. I mean, come on, people. That's how college football and major college basketball roll these days. And if you don't have money, you're going to be out of luck.
When people say it's not sustainable, I'm like, okay, is that true? Is that true? They're going to get more money into that program. People saw that it worked, that helped them reach a certain level to go out and find players. They're going to want more of that. It's not all of a sudden going to go away. There's not going to be less money for Tony Elliott to spend, right?
No, if you're an investor, what do you want? Return on investment.
Correct. Yes.
And that's what Virginia fans received this season. Now, is it sustainable where you're flipping 50 to 60 players every season? Probably not. We
Right.
don't have enough data in this short time frame throughout the industry to really draw hard and fast conclusions. But common sense tells us that forming a team, a cohesive team that has that chemistry that you need to succeed, is going to be difficult if the faces change every season, if there's not at least some form of player retention. Now, to Virginia and Virginia Tech's credit, thus far in the portal season, there have been some very key player retentions. Mikhail Boley on the offensive line, Maddox Marcellus at linebacker, Jason Hammond at defensive tackle. That's at UVA. At Virginia Tech, you have Kyle Altuner on the offensive line, Marcellus Hawkins and Jeffrey Overton at running back, Aiden Green at wideout, Kamari Copeland, arguably their best player at defensive tackle. Those are key pieces that the Cavaliers and Hokies are retaining. That's how you build a program.
Just going ahead and same thing. You're hitting the portal with those guys, but you're keeping them as opposed to letting them go somewhere else. So it's the same thing. You're still spending money. So.
Oh yeah, it absolutely costs to retain your players. And then you have to supplement that, of course, with high school recruiting.
Yeah. So everybody asked about college athletics, and everybody says, well, they asked me what's going to be done. I said, I don't know, but there's one person I know I can ask that'll have a great take, and that's you, because you've done this for so long, and I know we're all frustrated. You see the situation at Washington with their quarterback that popped up overnight. They made the big deal. He signed his deal, and now he's 3 days later, he's going to go, it looks like, to LSU for $3 more million. When is this going to implode? When is this going to stop? Or is it going to stop? Or can it be stopped for what's going on in college, specifically college football, but the portal? And let's call it for what it is. It's pay for play. There's no NIL. This is all pay for play.
Well, and what makes it worse, Rick, is it's annual free agency. And what it's going to take is a school such as Washington hauling a player into court and getting that contract enforced and saying, no, you're not going to another school. You're here. Now, if you don't want to play, that's fine. We won't pay you, but you're under contract and you're not playing anywhere else. Now, I don't know how the contract is worded. Does it say that for the duration of the deal, you are prohibited from competing for another program? I don't know. But this is why college athletics desperately needs some form, doesn't have to be employment, but some form of collective bargaining with football and men's basketball specifically, where the athletes have a voice and there is agreed upon contracts, number of transfers, all of it. And until then, this is what we're going to have.
Can that happen, in your opinion, without immediate pushback and more legislation going to come to the people who make those decisions, if they let open Pandora's box to the point they can't do anything now? That's what I'm worried about, you know?
It is not going to be a quick fix. I have very little confidence that within the next, say, 2 to 3 years, that much is going to change. Hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It doesn't appear like it's going to change. You got quarterbacks now that are making more money than rookies in the NFL. I mean, at some point, you know, can the league get involved? You know, the league sets the parameters on who can play in their league. I wonder if the NFL, who's always had this free minor league system of college football, right, to develop players, I don't know. Will the league eventually look at this, or are they just on their own island, you know?
The NFL cares about the shield and nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One thing that gets, I think, overlooked by fans, David, is this time of year, college basketball conference play. I still love it. I think it keeps things, regardless of how rosters are put together, man, it always has that special vibe. We've already seen it in the ACC with maybe the best game of the year, that Tech-Virginia game in triple overtime. We still have the hope of conference play, man, and it should be very interesting, shouldn't it, in the ACC? There's some really good teams at the top of that league.
There are, and Rick, there's good teams throughout the conference. And I think that's the most important part. I was talking with some coaches this week, and as Steve Forbes remarked, the Wake Forest coach, the ACC's bottom is better than it has been. And that's important because those are the teams that can drag you down, and you end up with these quad 4 and quad 3 games on the net that drag down your ratings and your tournament credentials. And I think the one stat that shows the ACC's progress, well, there's a couple, but at this point last season, the ACC had two teams in the top 40 of the net. Today they have 8.
Wow.
That is exponential progress.
That's huge. Yeah. Wow.
And then last season, the ACC versus its power conference peers was overall 20-52. This, and including, by the way, 3-40 against the SEC. This year, the ACC is 15-17 against the SEC and 38-39 against its power conference peers. Just huge, huge steps forward by the league.
Well, those are impressive numbers. You're right. That's going to help everybody who makes it into the tournament or who's on that bubble, right? You hope anyway, heading into that final weekend. They can't ignore that improvement, can they? They shouldn't. They should.
No, and they won't. I mean, November and December performance is paramount because that's how you measure yourself against other leagues. And there are still 3 more opportunities out there in February,
right?
With Duke playing Michigan, Virginia playing Ohio State, and Louisville playing Baylor, all on neutral courts.
And you know as well as you sat in on a selection, right? You sat in on a selection day, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I've done the mock selection in Indianapolis with the basketball committee.
That's so cool.
And in Grapevine with the football committee.
So you know exactly what's talked about. That's so nice that you have that. So if David says it, folks, you look for it. That's great. That's great. Hey, finally, let me ask you, can Miami take this thing one more step? How do you look at the national semifinals?
I think they can. I mean, when you beat Texas A&M on the road and then Ohio State on a neutral field, and you talk about programs that buy their rosters, there's 2 primary examples, and Miami's right up there with them. But that defense is just lights out. And Trinidad Chambliss got away with some things, and he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant in the second half against Georgia.
Yeah, he was.
Miami's defense is better than Georgia's. I don't think he's going to have that kind of escapability against Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor. So I think Miami's going to win and advance to the championship game, probably against Indiana. But if you look, Rick, at rematches this season, they flipped.
That's right.
Virginia beat Duke, but then Duke won the rematch. And Georgia beat Ole Miss, but Ole Miss won the rematch. So we'll see.
2 years in, all the years you've covered collegiate sports, is what the turnaround Curt Cignetti has oversaw. Is that the greatest thing we've seen in 2 years coming from Jamie, what he's done at Indiana, of all places?
Never seen anything like it. Nothing remotely similar.
It's not, is it?
No, it's remarkable, and clearly they are not done. All you have to do is look at the work they've done in the portal thus far, preparing for next season. They have hit it again. Now, the challenge for Cignetti and his staff goes back to what we were talking about with forming a team. He had some inherent advantages because he took 13 of his former JMU players with him to Indiana. They knew him, they knew his system, perhaps most important, they knew his culture. Now, those guys are going to be cycling out. So that institutional knowledge walks away.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're bringing in people who aren't as familiar with Cignetti and his staff and his culture. So how quickly they can educate those young people will be telling.
Seems like that'll be an easier transition if they win the Natty, right?
Hey. Well, it's an easier transition given that they've been in the CFP the last 2 years.
That's right.
Because now more than ever, the Google me, I win resonates.
That's right. That's right. Where are you going to be this weekend? Are you traveling this weekend? Hoops?
I am not, best of my knowledge. That may change, though. We'll see how tonight's results play.
All right. Well, enjoy the games, my friend. I know you will. And again, Happy New Year, man. It's great to talk with you again. And look forward to seeing where all this ends up here after the end of the portal nonsense, and we can start focusing maybe on spring ball and these college basketball matchups, because I'm excited about the conference schedule in college hoops. I really am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, brother. Thanks, David. Appreciate you, man.
All right, Rick.
There you go. David Teel, the Hall of Fame. He's the best. He knows. You ask David a question, he knows. And he's unfortunately going to be right, isn't he? It's going to be at least, 3 years or so. 3 years. Dight Vick joins us coming up. Who was asked? I think, was that you, Prometheus? All right, so return on investment. There's no one answer. That is what return on investment is up to is the individual. And what I mean by that is from a school, your investment obviously is how much money you're pouring into your program. If Indiana wins the national championship, their return on investment is going to be 1,000%. Therefore, they're going to make who knows what they'll make out of winning the national championship. So all that money will be well worth it, and you're going to see more money invested. It's up to the individual contributor. What is your opinion about the rate of return on the money you're investing? So in other words, when you talk about it from a UVA football perspective, what's the ROI? Well, they got a lot of money from different ventures. A lot of fans, a lot of donors stood up to try to help Tony Elliott out. What had happened? No, they didn't win the ACC title. That was a huge letdown. But then they bounced back and they won their record-setting 11th game. They've never done that in their football's history. And as David just said, the return on investment's pretty high at that point, right? You created a historical season because of the money, the influx of the cash that helped Tony Elliott go to the portal to bring those players in. So that return on investment is really high. And it would, you would think, encourage more people and the same people to continue to put that money back into the program. Just like if you're a tech donor, just like all the people who have donated, it got James Franklin, right? So let's contribute more. We're inspired to contribute more. Tech got the big name that they, required, that they really wanted. So let's see what kind of return on investment we as Tech fans can get in year number one, whatever that looks like. Who knows? There's games to be played. So it comes down to the individual or the institution. Where's that money coming from that's supplementing that program? From an Indiana perspective, you're in the National College Football Playoff the last 2 years. I know last year when he surprised everybody and got in the playoff, they said they got 5 times the donations or something like that. Millions of dollars. Well, if they win it all, the sky's the limit. Return on investment is going to be maxed out, so they're going to want to continue to keep it going, right? So, and schools will continue to do the same thing. How much are they going to invest? That's why Tech asked for this money. This is a return on investment. No, donors don't get any kind of physical return. No, this is just up to how much they want their alma mater to succeed in that sport. That's what it's always been like. Yeah, some donors will get perks, right? It was club membership. Maybe you get a primo parking space. Maybe you're invited to a dinner, right? But you go back, here we go again, referencing blue chips. Friends of the program. What did those guys get? They just they were just trying to buy their team's championship, right? So that's what it is. It's an investment because you're giving money. If you're putting money into it, you're investing in it because you're giving that money back to your school. I guess that's the way you look at it. So you're right, TLB. Technically, it's not putting your money in. You're not getting the money back. No, it's just a term that gets thrown around that fits this like the actual terminology. All right, you're not getting money back. No, schools don't give money back. That's not how it works. But it's an investment for the person who decides to get money because you're invested into the success of your school. Does that make sense? It's not a physical investment back into your bank account. But how much did I give? Like we're getting ready to have the Rad 48 in February, first week of February down at Radford. We're asking people to invest in our athletic programs. Can you help our student athletes be successful? That's your investment, right? So that's what it is. It's up to the individual contributor. It's not an actual physical investment. No. So I hope all that made some sense. Someone who always makes sense is this gentleman. Happy New Year. to Dight Vick, the creator of Victory Life, the all-conference lineman, the quintessential source for all things tech football. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning to you and your viewers and listeners, man. I hear you breaking down the financial stuff, man. I was listening with you and David, and then I was like, oh, I got to jump on. I got to find my link real quick. I literally was just listening.
Yeah, and we're just trying to explain. People talk about return investment. I think they take it too literally. It's not like, and right? If you donate to a program, it's that personal investment that you're putting into it is what it is. You could use the same terminology, but yeah, it is a gift, right?
Yeah, well, fans invest. I mean, they don't realize it, but fans have an investment. I mean, sure. I see fans flying out and traveling and going to all these games on the football, collegiate and pro level. So they invest too, and they invest financially more so on a consumer level. But it's an investment. It's like buying a vehicle. When you buy a vehicle, you drive it off the lot. It depreciates the more you drive it and put miles on it. But with sports, it's very unique where you are a consumer, but the feeling you get if the program's winning, the pride you have in buying the gear and wearing the gear and going to the stadium, taking pictures, the tailgating, the memories you make, taking your daughter, Melissa, to her first Tech UVA game. That's the investment you get. When the team has been trash, that's when you don't get a return on your investment because I don't want to say it's psychological damage, but, for me, one reason I stopped really having favorite NFL and NBA teams and Major League Baseball teams is because I know with pro sports, the way it has evolved in a good way and a somewhat bad way, I'm not going to invest my emotional time or my financial investments in a team or program, like whatever professional team where, like, for example, if you're a Jets fan, you have to be miserable. The Jets have been sorry and rebuilding for decades. The Patriots have been able to rebuild, and they're a 1 or 2 seed, whatever they are. And the Jets went the entire year without an interception on defense.
Right.
It's just, or the Raiders. The Raiders have been going in circles for decades. They had that one Super Bowl appearance or whatever with Jerry Rice and those guys and Tim Brown. That was a great year. And ever since then, they've been in disarray. So, yeah, everything's an investment. Everything's a business. That's just the way I see it.
No, I agree with you. And that's why I've been asking fans how much more they can continue to invest of their time and their money with the mess that is college athletics right now with all the David, he's going to be right. It's going to be a long time before we see any resolution, I'm afraid. And now you see this Washington quarterback who made a big deal out of signing with Washington 4 days ago, re-signing, and now he's leaving to go, looks like to LSU to sign for $3 to $4 million more. I mean, this stuff is just out of control to the point that we can't even recognize what's going on anymore. So.
Yeah, I just woke up to that. I was seeing some stuff about. I haven't read. You just kind of filled in the blanks for me. I saw something trending about a Washington QB, but David's right. I've been saying it too. It's not going to change because the truth of the matter is, until it really impacts the haves, the SEC big boys, the Big Ten big boys, or even the ACC big boys, it's just going to be the way it is. You just have to adjust to it. I saw with a kid. I'm happy for the kid. I don't know him personally, but the Hokie that just transferred in the portal to UVA, the DB or whatever, he transferred from Virginia Tech yesterday or 2 days ago, and he's going to UVA. Again, that's why I keep trying to tell fans the UVA Virginia Tech rivalry is not what you think it is. It's not my rivalry. No. It is not. It is not the same. You can try to. It's more of a rivalry on Twitter between fans than it is between players and coaches. We almost had Anthony Poindexter on staff. I don't think people realize, except for our older listeners and viewers, understand Anthony Poindexter, who I know personally. I played against him in the All-Star game, in the VHSO All-Star game. Played against him a handful of years at UVA. Arguably one of the best safeties in the history of the ACC. Is a UVA legend. To me, he should have a statue at UVA, right? The fact that he was getting ready to come, he was considering to coach at Virginia Tech is insane to me, because that means he would have been helping Tech potentially win a conference championship and make a playoff bid. Like, this is why I said that we got a coach on staff right now, Vic Hall from UVA. He's on the staff. So again, I mean, it's not what you think it is. It's not the same. It just, is there hatred and vitriol? Yeah, a little bit, but not like it was in 98 or 2001 or 87. Yeah, it's not the same. And it's okay. It's just a business. It is a full-fledged business. Enjoy the game, enjoy the moment, adjust accordingly. It should be like a sticker or a little hashtag on your ticket when you buy season tickets or tickets to the game that says adjust accordingly.
Yeah, adjust accordingly. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you're right about that. And with all the player movement and you're inviting new players into your program, and it's not ever going to be the same, isn't it? There'll be a few individual exceptions of guys who grew up here that hated one school or loved the other one, but you're going to see less and less than that all the time. And then it comes back to those fan bases, these investors, these people that are spending money to support these programs. That's where the rivalries will set. Just like you said on Twitter, it's going to be like it is for the fan base. Well, Michigan, Ohio State, well, we hate them. Well, you may not hate them as much if you're coming from Florida or Texas to Ohio State for 1 or 2 years. You don't know anything about Michigan. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, because again, like you look, it's funny you mentioned Ohio State. Ohio State and Michigan, kudos to them. They have been able, and even Michigan State, but especially Ohio State and Michigan and Alabama and Auburn. Ohio State and Michigan have been able to sustain the vitriol and true feeling of a rivalry despite the change in NIL. Well, here's the reason why. Because both teams so far have been able to navigate NIL accordingly. They've been able to adjust accordingly. That's the name of my segment, adjust accordingly. They've been able to pay for players, get the right coaches in, minus the scandal at Michigan, 2 scandals, the cheating scandal. They've been able to still get a great product on the field. Even this past season, Michigan, going into the Ohio State game, had won 9 games. So the reality is that the rivalry is still there because of the history, and both programs have been playing high-level football. My rivalry, Virginia Tech and UVA, up until recently this year when UVA won a record 11 games, I mean, both teams were mediocre to underachieving. Nobody cared about that game outside of UVA and Virginia Tech fans. It used to be a big rivalry on the national stage because when I played in it, and even a few years before me and after me, you would have both teams ranked or playing very good football. In the NIL era, where players and coaches move around a lot, you have to find reasons to stay connected to the game and the team. You have to find what draws you in, right? So, for example, every time I look right now on Twitter, I see text getting this guy from Missouri, these players from Penn State. They lose my guy, Caleb Woodson, to Alabama. So for me, I look, I see what's going on. I remind myself I'm a Virginia Tech grad. I'm a Virginia Tech former player. I'm going to be married to Virginia Tech, the nostalgia that I created, as well as what I love about Tech. I'm not going to get caught up in thinking I'm going to see a player there for 4 years. It's not happening. You might get a handful, but even after 3 years, a guy may go into the grad transfer portal and go somewhere else. It is what it is, and it has become professional sports on the collegiate level. And basketball and football, it is what it is, and it is a situation where the football and basketball and even other sports, baseball, gymnastics, the purists that remember how it was have to adjust accordingly. You're not going to get what you once had. Even Tech this year, this is still weird to me. Pride gets fired. Everybody's like, man, it didn't work out. Disappointing. Loved the guy. Wasn't a good head coach. Now he's back as the coordinator. I mean, you talk about Indiana and what that coach has done there. I have never seen anything like this in Tech where a guy gets fired and comes back almost like he just took a paid vacation.
In a few months, just in the span of a few months.
Yeah, but it is what it is. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to adjust accordingly. I'm going to hope Pride gets back to his roots as a defensive coordinator, gets the defense looking like what a Tech defense is supposed to look. I hope he doesn't prolong putting the right personnel on the field. And they get some turnovers and they win games. I mean, I have taken my, we talk about investment. I have guarded my emotional investment. I've adjusted how much emotion I invest. Even though I'm a very passionate person, I was so irritated. I hate to bring up a sore memory, but I told you I felt like the UVA Tech game was a silent protest. They did not attempt any fake field goals, fake punts, no trick plays, no different things with Pop Watson and drones, nothing. They went out there and gave you a vanilla product, and they were like, you know what, we're not going to mess it up for the ACC, UVA, you go ahead and go play for the championship. And then you watch how Duke played, knowing that they weren't going to go to the playoff, give Manny Diaz everything they wanted on that field. Again, it's interesting, man. It's interesting how this thing is played out, man. And it's not going to change. And we just have to have fun doing it, covering it like we do, talking about it. It's going to get even crazier. I hate to be the I don't know when to say bearer of bad news. It's just I'm the news guy right now. It's going to get even crazier.
Well, and I remember you were the first when you were a Pride guy, but you kept saying, Rick, one thing I don't like I'm seeing, I hope it's not a trend. He's too loyal to guys who don't play. Something you have said has stood out, and I now can see it everywhere. You said, Rick, everybody and I never thought of it that way. This is why you are who you are. You said, Rick, everybody who plays on that team that starts in that locker room knows who should be starting, knows who should not be playing and who shouldn't be playing, and they get insulted. I'm paraphrasing what you said. They were out there busting their tails, and they know they're not being put in the best position because a coach has some blind loyalty, and that's one of the things that really hurt Brent Pry. And you were on that early, so like you said, hopefully he's adjusted that now as going back to his coordinator role.
Yeah, I mean, because the truth of the matter is, I saw it early because one thing that won't change on the high school, college, and pro level is the right guys have to play. The right guys that earn it, that are the better player, have to play. Whether it's football or basketball, whatever it is, the right guys have to play. Fans aren't stupid. We're passionate, sometimes crazy, but when you see a snapshot of a guy, you're like, wow, why is he not getting more touches? Even a kid, I know we had Overton, but Overton was coming back from injury, so the running back who I've been high on since he committed, he wasn't starting or playing, but you had a lot of injuries with your running backs. I don't know why they never really gave Coney, who's leaving, a shot, because he showed flashes of running well. He had a really good game against Syracuse a couple of years ago. I know he had that fumble, but a lot of guys on the team turned the ball over. You look at a kid like Pop. The rumor was that, in practice he wasn't as sharp, but my whole thing is for the guys that were sharp in practice, they weren't sharp in game day.
Yes.
So, my whole thing is what do you have to lose when, and I know those aren't defensive guys, but what I'm saying is, you even look at a guy like Caleb Spencer and the kid Noah from DeMatha, the two linebackers that came on late. They should have been getting a little bit more reps because you saw what they did against NC State in other games. They were really good, especially when Woodson was nursing an injury. You saw what they were doing when Caleb Spencer got in the game. So personnel groupings and challenging your team and hold them accountable has to be at the forefront. I really do feel like just hearing Franklin talk and reading what he says and just knowing him at Penn State, he seems to have a handle on accountability more so than some other coaches do.
Well, all that being said, what have you seen so far in the coaching staff, the players they're bringing in? I mean, I know you're following it. We're seeing everybody do what they're doing with the portal and so forth. Is I know it's too early kind of to say, but if you're watching it, what do you think so far of Franklin's haul first on the staff, and then what you've seen player wise?
I'm even kill about it, man. I'm not, I'm in a group chat with former players, and I'm also in a group chat. I'm tight with the guys from Boundary Corner podcast, and those guys are my brothers. They're like, "Hey, you're not excited?" I'm like, "No." They were like, why? Because this is all just free agency signings. I grew up at one time before I disconnected from them. I was a diehard Redskins fan, now Commanders. And one reason I stopped is because they would bring in Jeff George and get rid of Brad Johnson, who led them to an NFC East title. They got rid of Brian Mitchell and brought in Deion Sanders, who was battling turf toe. And they brought in Jesse Armstead, and they brought in Bruce Smith. And Bruce Smith was chasing a sack record. In those couple of years, they went 8-8, and they had the highest paid roster in the NFL. I will be excited when they blow out VMI, when they beat some Power 4 conference games. That's when I'll be excited. Do I love what he's bringing in? Absolutely. I like the DN from Missouri. I like the receiver, the kid, the DB from UConn. All great pickups. It looks good. I think Tech is improving dramatically. But movement doesn't mean just because I'm getting my steps in doesn't mean I'm getting in shape. So, you have to make sure it's the right kind of movement, and the personnel groupings and the cohesiveness of the team improves. Do I like the coaches he's bringing in? I'm biased when it comes to Anthony Midget. I've known Midget since 1995. That was my teammate. He is a great football mind. He's coached with Pride before. He's one of the smartest football players, along with Torian Gray, I've ever been around. But so is Pearson Prelo. I mean, Pearson Prelo and Midget played together. So it's almost like, hey, here, Rick, here's a black phone. Okay, we're done with this one. But here's another new black phone, right? Yeah. I mean, and again, we'll see what happens. I mean, Midget is a great pull, but I thought Pilo was a great pull. I mean, again, I have to respectfully trust Franklin, because the one thing compared to Fuente and Prize, he's done it for a long time at multiple schools, and he has a great track record, and he has a feel for what he wants and what he's doing. But like I told you before off air, and I've told other people, just because I was good at one place, I have to be good at this place. Every day in life, when we wake up, whatever job we have, whatever we do, we have to redefine ourselves and prove it again. That's the beauty of sports. Virginia Tech had a great win over UVA. I watched every minute. Shout out to my guy, Ben Hammond, the Prince William County kid. He's my guy.
That's right.
I've known him since he was 6. But then you go and lose to Wake Forest, right? And that's not taking shots at the basketball team. It's just that we will remember what you have done lately. And we will remember what Franklin's done. But now he's got a new point to prove in Blacksburg. So to kind of put a bow on that point, I like the additions of the coaches. I think, this is a good group so far. I think Poindexter did what he was supposed to do and go to Tennessee. I think I was one of the few people that kept trying to tell people he wasn't coming to Tech. I think people just we get greedy. It's the holidays, right? So we want to take everything. We want all the gifts. We want everybody. But you can't be that way. Like, some guys aren't coming. But again, there's still some players they can pick up. You got, some kids from Michigan who are Virginia kids who are getting out of their their scholarships and they're going to be free agents, so to speak. But I mean, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm patient. I've learned that. I hope this coaching staff sticks. You see guys come in, you get used to them, you interview them, you talk to them, and then next thing you know, they're gone. I do feel like there's a better sense of accountability around the program right now. I don't think we're just going to be throwing money at players just because they think they deserve it.
What about your guy, as well as anybody, J.C. Price? Have you talked to him recently? I know we had Todd on yesterday. He's not lined up to be part of anything right now with Virginia Tech. I know he's had some health things, but that's a guy that is one hell of a football coach. And if he's not being tapped into for some way, that's a mistake, in my opinion. So
absolutely. I mean, I'm probably outside of, his wife and his kids, I'm one of JC's biggest fans. He's Virginia Tech royalty. I have not spoken to him. A lot of times when all this stuff's going on, like, for example, I did text Marcus Hagans when there was rumors about him coming here. I know Marcus Hagans. We grew up together. We both went to Hampton High School.
Yeah.
His dad coached me in AAU basketball. God rest his soul. So, like, I did text him. I said, am I going to see you soon? And he just kind of laughed or whatever. He said, I don't know. So I kind of knew he wasn't coming, but I wasn't about to post that. But most of the time, I don't bother these guys when they're going through all this stuff because, to be fair, I know I'm going to be living in Northern Virginia like I have the last 20 plus years. I know Victory Life is going to work, and I'm doing this today and tomorrow, this weekend. When you're a football coach, you could be there a couple of years, you could be there 6 months, and then it could be changed. It could change in a heartbeat. So I know him and his wife getting back to Blacksburg was all they ever wanted, and the kids are comfortable there. So JC would answer my call because we go way back. That's my brother, but I'm letting the smoke clear out first before I reach out. It's just, I just hate, this is the part of the business I hate, but it is what it is. I don't know why you won't retain him, but Franklin has his reasons. It is what it is, man. I mean, you look at the great David Teel. David Teel's a Hall of Fame journalist, and he was with the Daily Press, and they had some budget cuts, and then he was with the Virginia Pilot, and they had some budget cuts. You got to adjust and find a way to make it work in your craft. I don't know if JC will coach anywhere else, or if he's just going to stay in Southwest Virginia and continue to raise his family. I would hope they would find a role for him, but I don't know all the details to what's going on or what happened with the last regime.
Well, as you look at the semifinals, who you got? Who you got this week coming up Thursday or Friday and Saturday?
Oh, man, I like Indiana to win it all, but that seems like a popular answer now, even though people have been questioning Indiana since, they started this run, but they've proven that they are a first-class program and team right now. Miami's a great story, a little bit of nostalgia. Only reason I wouldn't mind seeing Miami win because I know Michael Irvin is going to put on a show. Michael Irvin is going to give us must-see TV. But I would go with Indiana. I know the story that nobody talks about is Ole Miss. Nobody had Ole Miss beating Georgia. And no one has Ole Miss, or very few people have Ole Miss beating Miami. But they're a really good team. I know that quarterback is fun to watch. What a great story he is, a former D2 guy, that came up the ranks, and now he had to earn the job there. And he made some plays with his legs and his arm. Miami, as David Teel said, is a better defense than Georgia, but I feel like Miami's also been very fortunate. The ball has bounced their way. So are they due to win it, or have they been extremely lucky? I think they're a really good team. I think as much noise we make about the playoff, this team should have gotten in, JMU shouldn't have gotten in. I'm happy JMU showed everybody. They put the most points on Oregon. And then that, Oregon shut out the next opponent. So I think here's the deal, and this is, not to kind of give you a vague answer. All four teams remaining can win it. All four teams.
They could.
I just feel like you might get Indiana, Miami, which is a great matchup. Who called that one? That would be interesting. But I'm gonna go with Indiana. I'm going to pick Ole Miss with the upset, and that's not hate against Miami. I just think, in these kind of situations, it's never who you think is going to win it when it comes to, the parity in college football because of the NIL now in the portal. It's parity. Like Alabama got boat race, and many people say they shouldn't have been there. I was going to tweet and mock Kirk Herbstreit because he advocated for Alabama and all of that stuff, man. You had a great monologue calling them out a month ago, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, but I think the team I think having winning it is Indiana. But right when I say that, watch what happens this weekend. I tell you what, though, what a great time to be home or be near a TV or near a tablet or iPad with all the games. You got college basketball, which is my favorite sport. You have playoff wild card football, and you have college football playoff.
That's right.
Yeah. So
don't
bother me.
Don't bother you. All right, before we let you go, one more thing, because it gets asked a lot. You and I have talked about this many times, but in case people missed it, if there's a certain guy who happened to be your cousin, who happened to be a pretty decent football player, was in the NIL portal today or pay-for-play portal today, what in the world would Michael Vick have commanded?
I think Mike, Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, and Vince Young, and Bo Jackson. I'm just naming guys that are like iconic. We've never seen them ever or since or before. Would get Mike, just to get specific to him, and those guys like him would get the most money in the history of the NIL. I think Mike, because he's so marketable. He had that great smile. He still does, and also in a situation where they had never really seen anything like that before. We've seen Major Harris. There have been quarterbacks like him. I don't want to act like he was the first mobile quarterback, but I think in the way he did it and how dynamic he was, a quarterback running a 4.240, had a rocket for an arm, flipping over people like, the guy, Jamie Foxx, and Any Given Sunday. All of those things just made he would have probably been the highest paid player in portal history. And the crazy thing about it is that, I got into it with a guy a year ago or 2 years ago. He was like, Mike would have never come to Virginia Tech in the portal. I'm like, yes, he would have, because name, image, and likeness, the money doesn't come from Virginia Tech. It comes from the collectives. And it also can include Nike. It can also include local restaurants. It can include national brands. So he would have gotten paid from other people, including the NIL and collective. So Mike would have demanded, we would all had, Escalades. We would have been we would have been rolling in money. But you know what? Here's the thing, and this is where people look at me funny when I say this, Rick. The misconception is all these guys just want the money, and the women as well, the women athletes. That's not true. Mike, like a lot of us, wanted to get paid and go to the league or get paid if we could have in college at the time, but there was no rule for that. No way we could get paid in college. But he chose Tech because I recruited him there. And I said, if you come here, you can take us to a national championship game. You can play for the Heisman. And I felt like this is the best place for him. Mike did not want to go across the country. He didn't want to go to Syracuse, where it snowed even more than it does in Blacksburg. So some of these kids choose, yes, they want to get paid. There's a player at Virginia Tech right now. I'm good friends with his dad, who transferred to Tech from a major program. And he took, I don't want to say a pay cut, but he came to Tech. He didn't come for the money. He came because he wanted to be a Hokie. He wanted to be closer to home. So this misconception that people will play in Afghanistan for millions of dollars is crazy. These kids still want to be in close proximity or want to be with their girlfriend, or they want to be closer to home. It's not all about the money, but just to kind of put a bow on that, Mike would have made so much money. It would have been like that David Chappelle meme when he had the money against his chest like this and all. It would have been like that. He would have just had so much money. You would have rung the doorbell and opened the door, and money would have fallen from the ceiling, and you would have, watch out, you're stepping on my money.
That's right. That's right.
But Mike back then loved to fish. He loves to fish now. He loves to play golf. Back then, me and him and Chiron Stiff and Ike Charlton, all of us played Shane Beamer. We played video games. We were still kids, and that's what people forget. We played NC2A back then. And, I would use Tennessee because they had T. Martin and Jamal Lewis. I remember who I used. I used to be Shane Beamer to death. He used to get mad. But, we were just kids, man, loving the game we're playing and working on getting degrees and living our best life, man. So it's not always about the money.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you as always. You've been doing some great stuff. I know on Victory Law, I've been watching your stream. You got a lot of stuff going on, don't you? A lot of great guests. You guys are just continuing to bring it all the time.
Yeah, man. Got a big pod coming up. I got the kid Colby that works with 247 coming up, and thank you for that. And Ahmad Hawkins, who covers UVA, does that broadcast, and a few other guests. We're gonna do like a season recap and kind of talk about everything. I'll post it. But yeah, man, I've been broadcasting, did the Westfield Patriot game, been speaking like I always do, high school coaches. Yeah, man, I'm busy, man. I'm leaving a legacy.
Absolutely, you are. You already have, my friend. You're just building on it. You already
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Well, enjoy the games, man, and we'll get you back regular slot next week, and we'll talk to you next week. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks, TV. See you, brother.
Yep.
Happy New Year, man. There you go. Dight Vick, the great Dight Vick. Thank you, everybody. You're great, as always. Thanks, everybody in chat. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. We appreciate them. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. I want to thank everybody at the NRV Super Bowl. I want to thank Top Shelf Apparel and Brandon. Thanks to the Ready Set Fund, Professional Door Incorporated, National Bank, member FDIC, Ryan Pry, the Radford Attorney, Little River Heating and Air. Thanks to Pulaski County Sports Entertainment for being the presenting sponsor, Harvey's GM, McClellan Chiropractic, and Family Fencing. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Great show today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like it, share it, subscribe. And we'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition. 4 guests today you're not going to get anywhere else. They were great. You were great. Thanks, everybody.